Hello and good morning, good afternoon and a very good evening to you. Good morning with Tube. Hope you're well today. Hope you're feeling grand and all is well in your world. Hello there. I'm getting reacquainted with an old friend of mine, my vintage V6, everybody, who's seen better days. But anyway, we're on a Q&A Wednesday, everybody. Let's get to question one, shall we? Okay, so question one today is why do you still use an overdrive pedal instead of the CE1 pedal Will Galluccio sent you for the John Frusciante tone? Okay, so bit of a backstory to this whole thing is the word in the John Frusciante community, so to say, is that to get John's clean tone, the most important pedal is the Boss CE1 chorus pedal because it's got a boost function on it. And that helps tame the DS2 and the Ibanez wah and this, that and the other. And I don't believe that's 100% true. I don't believe that's important at all, that pedal, in my personal opinion. I think a chorus pedal is important. But the CE1 with its boost, I don't think so. My opinion. I'm not speaking for anybody other than myself. Personally, I've never even seen a CE1 in person, let alone try and play through one, so I can't comment. But I don't believe it's the be-all and end-all pedal that people make it out to be. It's like, oh, you need the CE1, otherwise it's not, you don't get the John sound. It's like, that's a Tone City Golden Plexi. That sounds pretty close to John Frusciante to me, and also it tames the DS2, so... and the DS2. There's no volume jump there, and that's just the way I've always done it. I mean, I started off doing that with an Ibanez tube screamer, the TS808, and I used that forever as my kind of clean sound. The TS808 was my clean tone for years and years and years until. Watching Nanderton's video of Rob Chapman and the Captain demoing Tone City pedals, the Golden Plexi appeared, and I was like, I want that pedal. And I originally got it for distortion, for its full-out gain, because I love the Golden Plexi's full-out gain. But then I plugged it into my setup and run the gain really low, and all of a sudden found that it gave me a really nice, kind of broken up John Frusciante-esque, kind of clean tone. So yeah, I mean, that's the reason I run an overdrive. It's just what I've always done, because I haven't got access. I mean, I couldn't afford a CE1, even if I wanted one. You know what I mean? I would have to borrow one. I would never be able to, own something like that. It's an expensive pedal, and I don't think I'd want to own a CE1. They're not... It's not an important pedal to me for that John Frusciante thing, because I use my Zoom pedal for chorus. And that... that does a... That's fine for me. So, the reason I don't use the CE1 pedal that Will Galluccio very kindly sent me is, I could never get it to do what I want it to do. It just didn't work through my amps. I don't know if it was because they were solid state or anything like that. But it never gave me what the Golden Plexi or the Marshall Jackhammer or the Ibanez Tube Screamer or a Boss Super Overdrive that I used to have gave me, which is, that kind of John kind of thing, so to say. It never gave me that. I don't know if it's because I'm using solid state amps or whatever. But it never really worked for me. It never worked. It was a great pedal, but it never worked for me, so hence I don't use it. And I use my Golden Plexi or my Jackhammer. And I think actually the Jackhammer is a bit more versatile than the Golden Plexi, but I love both. So, but that's the reason I don't use it, and I don't believe for 1 second the CE1 is as important to John's tone as people make out. And also people saying oh well that's the one pedal that kind of calms the DS2 and the Ibanez wah down. It's not. It's not the only pedal. It's the amps more than anything. The way John ran his amps, as loud as they were, the compression from them, you wouldn't need the CE1. you wouldn't need the CE1 to control those pedals. The compression coming from the Silver Jubilee and the Marshall Major at the volumes that John ran them at would be enough to control them. And I have seen certain gigs where John doesn't have the CE1 and he's got a DS2 and the Ibanez. A case in point is the Federation Square Jam in Australia. He doesn't have his CE1 there. He's got like he's got his DS2, his Ibanez wah, some kind of weird kind of, I think it's I would say it's the Line 6, the filter one, the purple one. And he's also got a delay pedal as well. And that's all he's got. He's just got those 4 pedals. And he's got a Silver Jubilee at the back, even though it's a black Tolex one. It's still a Silver Jubilee, I can't talk. And it still sounds like John Frusciante. And he still gets that amazing kind of like, you know, DS2 Ibanez wah. You know, he still gets that thing out of it without the CE1 being even present. And even if the CE1 was there, he doesn't use it on that jam. And you don't hear it, you don't see it, it's not there. And there's also other jams that John's done where it's not there, and John still has that kind of sound. So, is the CE1 important for John's tone? No, not in the slightest, I don't think. I think there's way too much emphasis put on that one pedal without looking at the whole picture of, like, you know, the amplifiers and how much compression you need to get the DS2 and the Ibanez to behave. So yeah, I don't think for 1 second CE1's important. The reason I don't use the pedal that Will Galluccio very kindly sent me, and I'm very, very grateful for that pedal, is I just couldn't get it to work with myself. It wouldn't work. I tried everything I could, and it wouldn't work. It just didn't give me the right tone. It was just not there. Lack of a better word. Hence why I never did a demo of it, because I just couldn't get it to work. And if I can't get things to work right, I don't want to, you know, cast them in a bad light. So, you know, but, you know, loads of people have used that pedal and they say it works for them, so that's cool. It just didn't work for me, so I continue to use my Golden Plexi or my Line 6HX or my Marshall jackhammer. And that works fine for me. And that's what I've always done. Like I say, it's just a case of if you don't have access to something like a C1, you know, you just got to make do. You know, you got to find a way, so to say. And this is what I've always done. So yeah, so that's the reason I use an overdrive. And the overdrives just give me more of what I want, sound-wise, tonally, especially the jackhammer. It's got so much tonal variation that I adore it to bits. Okay, and you actually asked, is the C1 the core, is the key to John Frusciante's tone? Like I said, no, it's not. It's not in the slightest. Because you can get the DS2, and cause people say without the C1 you can't get the DS2 and the Ibanez wah to behave properly. You can. I mean, you can do it with a dirty channel on amplifier or any overdrive pedal that kind of like is compatible. Sorry. With the DS2 or the Ibanez wah. The Ibanez wah and the DS2 are very picky about what they're compatible with. Tube screamers are a no-no. Boss pedals, yes, kind of. But the best ones I've found, like I say, are the jackhammer and the Golden Plexi by Tone City. They just... sorry, everyone, I've got to blow my nose. They just give the right tone. They give off the right kind of amount of compression, the right kind of amount of tone, and just make things behave. You know, there's never any volume jump. You know, so yeah, the CE1 isn't as important to John's tone as people make out. I think there's been a bit of a hoo-ha and a bit of I think it got a bit silly of how much emphasis was put on that one pedal of like that's the key to John Frusciante's sound. No, it's not. The key to John Frusciante's sound is John Frusciante. It's not a pedal. It's not an amplifier. It's John Frusciante. You know what I mean? If the sound comes from him, he makes it go. The gear can't do it on its own. You know what I mean? It's like if you put a guitar on a stand, it can't play itself, so to say. So yeah, I don't believe for 1 second C1 is as important. I don't think you need it at all. Any kind of chorus pedal that gives you like a real nice kind of rich, you know, kind of pulsing, kind of rich chorus is is perfect. Even the built-in chorus on like the Marshall MG here is really, really good. All you need to do, excuse me, is just find that sweet spot for the DS2 and the Ibanez Wah to live in with the pedal you've got or the amp you've got. And it just takes a bit of experimentation. And, you know, it's all to do to pick up heights and stuff like that, which you want your pickups low. John always used to have his 62 Strat pickups low. The 55s were higher, but I think that guitar was a bit lower on power. It's always cleaner sounding than his 62, so I think that's the reason why those pickups are a lot higher. There wasn't as much output on the 55 as there was the 62, and his Telecasters and whatnot. So yeah. So that's the reason I don't use the C1 chorus boost pedal that I have from Will, and that's the reason I use an overdrive. And again, like I say, I don't think the C1 is important to John Frusciante's tone at all. I think it's you know, there's a million different ways you can get around it. It's not the be-all and end-all kind of thing. It's definitely not the key. It's definitely not kind of, you know, you're not going to buy that pedal and all of a sudden sound like John Frusciante. You know, it's not going to do that for you. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Moving on to question 2 now. Okay, so question 2. I've answered this before, but I'll bring it up again because of what I've done recently. So question 2. Have you tried the new Marshall Orgin amps, and do you think they'd be good for a John Frusciante tone? I haven't tried the new Marshall Orgin amps, no. I contacted Marshall, but never heard anything back. I asked them, like, you know, I'm sure the email just got lost somewhere along the lines in their... I've contacted Marshall before about things and never heard anything back, so... no, I would like to try the Origin, but I can't afford to buy one, and I don't want to buy one and then not like it, if that makes any sense. It's like that's like the Code. Like, I bought the Code thinking I would like it, and I hated it, and I just couldn't wait to get rid of it. But no, I haven't tried the Origin series. I've been watching videos on them, and they do seem like really, really cool amps, but without having one in my possession to play with and tinker with, I don't really know, but I would like to try it. Would it be good for a John Frusciante tone? Yeah, most probably, but I don't know. I can't categorically say yes or no. In all fairness, you could always buy it and, like I say, run like an overdrive pedal in front of it. Like, so set the amp really, really clean, just use it for its power, and get the tone from pedals, which is, again, what I've always done, and the way that's what I find easiest. So I can do it with amps, but I prefer to do it with pedals. But yeah, I mean, I would like to try one, but it's just a case of getting hold of one, and nobody I know owns one, and like I say, there's nowhere around here I know where I can actually go and try one, so there's no one who stocks them, so but I would like to try them at some point. It's just a case of when the time's right, so to say. Sorry, everybody. Got a bit of a cough today, so I do apologise. But yeah, I mean, they probably would be good for a John tone, but like I say, I can't honestly comment because, like I say, I haven't tried one in person. What was my voice then? Good gravy, Davey. Anyway, but yeah, I haven't tried one in person, so I don't really know. I could say probably, but don't quote me. Don't go out, rush out and buy an Origin series and get it back home and go, well, it doesn't do it. He said he would. It would, because I can't say that because I haven't actually tried one in person, so I don't know if it would be suitable for that kind of thing or not. But, you know, they're kind of the Origin series is kind of like a hark back to the old Plexi Bluesbreaker days. So, you know, you'd think, you know, John using a Marshall Major and the Silver Jubilee, there'd be kind of like that kind of tonal, mid-throaty Marshall grunt in there. So you would think that it would do it. Do a pretty good job with a John Frusciante tone. So, but yeah, like I said, I can't honestly say 100% for sure because, like I said, not having tried one, I can't put, you know, my cast iron guarantee that it will do that on it, so to say. So it nearly fell over then. Do you see that? That'd have been fun, wouldn't it? Fails. Anyway, moving on. And I don't know why I stand like this, but I quite enjoy standing on one leg for some reason. I don't know if any of you noticed it. But there's been a few times I'm stood on one leg again. And I didn't realise I did it. I just did it. And I find myself randomly just standing on one leg sometimes. Anyway, that's not important. Why are you talking about that, boy? Tangent Boy is in effect. He'll come and answer your question with a story. Anyway, moving along. So yeah, hope that's answered your question. At some point, I'd like to try the new Marshall Orgin head. I really want to try the head. I'm not really bothered about the combos. I like heads. Yeah, at some point, hopefully. I do love combos, but head and a cab, much prefer it. Much prefer it. Okay, so moving along. So yeah, hope that's the question. Moving on to question 3 now. I nearly threw my plectrum. Let's put my plectrum in my strings. That way, I won't be tempted to throw it somewhere and it'll go into the parallel universe where all plectrums go. One day I'm going to find a door to that and get all my plectrums back. Anyway, like Narnia, in the back of a wardrobe somewhere in like an antique shop in, you know, nowhere town. Anyway, I'm losing my mind. The world is unraveling before my very eyes. Behind my very eyes. Well, it could be behind your eyes, Dave. What's behind your eyes? I don't know, Dave. Maybe a brain. I don't think there's a brain behind those eyes. Why not? Well, anyway, it's all going wrong. Okay, so question 3. How do you keep other strings from ringing out when you're doing trills? Good question. I don't know, because I use this part of my hand. It is one of those questions where I'm not actually aware of what I do, so to say. It's one of those things that I just do subconsciously now, because I've done it for such a long period of time. It's just a subconscious thing that I don't actually think about it. There is actually noise. You can actually hear, if you listen really closely, if I just kind of do that, there is like a sympathetic noise of, I think it's the D string. No, it's the G string. Sorry about that, everyone. Anyway, where was I? Yes, trills. There is a sympathetic noise coming from the G string. You can kind of hear it if that ringing out. Not so much on the high E and B strings, but definitely on the G string. If I don't pick it, yeah, you can kind of hear it ringing out. It's like almost like a harmonic-y kind of sound, and that's the G string ringing out. But I'm killing the low E string and probably the A string with my thumb, because my thumb's over the top. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that at all. My thumb's nowhere near. This part, the fat part of my hand, the side of my hand is resting on all the strings as I do it. So yeah, my right hand is killing the E, A, D, and G strings. If I'm doing that if I'm doing a trill on the B and high E, the fatty part of your hand, this part of your hand, that's on the E, A, D, and G strings and killing those. And when I go to the B and G, it's moving up. It's actually only killing the E and the A strings there, but I'm not actually hitting the D string. Yeah, so that's basically what I do. It's this part of my hand that's basically killing the strings I don't want to ring out. So when it's on that one, it's killing the E, A, D, and G. When I'm on the high E and B, when I'm on the B and the G, it's killing the E and the A. And I'm just not playing the D, and I'm also getting like a sympathetic noise from the G string. And if you're doing the John Frusciante thing, the crazy, without the wah-wah, you actually are getting all the string noise, and that's what makes that John Frusciante wah-wah trick so intense. Is you're getting all the open string noise. So with distortion and the wah, the John Frusciante thing sounds like this. Without that, and just really clean, it sounds like this. It sounds really messy. But it's like the wah-wah articulates it a little bit more. So yeah, I'm basically just using this part of my hand. So give that a whirl. Just like rest your hand down on those strings that you don't want to ring out, and just dampen them basically. That's what I'm doing, and I never knew I did that. I probably did at some point, but I've forgotten again, and I'm gonna forget probably by the end of the next question. So yes, hope that's answered your question. I'm gonna move along. So yeah, that's basically how to cut down on noise. don't put a rubber band around the neck. It's cheating. Anyway, moving along. Yeah, easy my own hair, everybody. Lovely. Okay, so where are we? Question 3 was question 4. Question 4, everybody. Question 4. Okay, moving along. I'm about to buy a 1998 made in Mexico Strat Deluxe. The frets have been leveled but not crowned. Should I be worried about replacing the frets not long after getting it, or should I pass on it? No, I wouldn't worry about it at all. If the guitar plays on every fret and it still sounds good and the intonation's good and it plays in tune, then it's fine. You know, it's only literally until the frets become either really sharp or all the chords start sounding out of tune and you can't get it intonated properly, you really want to start worrying about your frets. And trust me, that takes a long, long time. You can wear frets down to virtually nothing and they will still work. It's incredible how much life frets actually have in them. So, and if they are flat, I mean these frets on here, these are the original frets I've had on this guitar, and I've played this guitar so much, and they are very flat on this guitar now. There's not really much of a crown to these frets at all. There's really not. But the guitar still plays in tune. It's still intonated, perfectly, and it still plays in tune. It plays on every fret without a dead fret. It never chokes out. So I wouldn't worry about it myself. If the guitar's good and it plays good and it feels good and it sounds good, go for it. Don't worry about frets until literally the guitar won't play. You know what I mean? Until the guitar won't play, there is no reason to worry about fretting, refretting, or getting them whatever. You know what I mean? So, and don't worry about flat frets either. I've got a million guitars with flat frets and they're still intonated fine. I mean, I know it is important to have that kind of that point. But, like I say, this guitar has got flat frets and it never has any, it's not got intonation issues, and I can play it with bands and other guitars and it never sounds out of tune or wrongly intonated or anything like that. It plays good. So yeah, I won't worry about that at all until it doesn't play. It's not a problem. So yeah, go for it. If you really love the guitar, go for it. It really, don't worry about it at all. You can get a bit, people can get a bit worked up with the whole kind of the fret thing, and it always has to have the crown on it and this, that, and the other. And not necessarily. It is important, but it's not as important. It's like the CE1 pedal I was talking about earlier on for John Frusciante. It's not as important as it appears to be, so to say. You can still, you look at Gibson Les Pauls, the customs, with the fretless Wonder frets, and I've played some Les Pauls with frets that are just flat. There's nothing left of it. It's just flat. It's literally like a millimetre off the board. I remember I played a Les Paul Artisan. It was this free pickup, free humbucker, all mahogany Les Paul, and it was so heavy, it weighed a ton. But the frets on that were so worn down, they were literally, I know word of light, I promise, it was like a millimetre above the board. They were so flat. Was that the Artisan of the anniversary? I'm pretty sure it was the Artisan. Yeah, it was the Artisan, because I had a bit of trouble playing it. That was the only thing that I had. I had trouble with bending, because the frets were so low, you couldn't really grab hold of a string because there was no fret there. But it still played fine. It still sounded good. It didn't choke out or anything like that, but there was non-existent frets. So yeah, go for it. It's not, like I say, frets aren't an issue until they're an issue, and nothing's an issue until it's an issue, really. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So. Okay, so I need to breathe because I'm running out of oxygen again, everybody. So yeah, so I won't pass on it. If you want the guitar and you love the guitar and it sounds good and it plays, go for it. Worry about refretting it when it no longer plays properly or it won't stay intonated or anything like that. It's that's when it becomes a problem. Okay, breathe, Dave, breathe. Otherwise you're gonna die. Okay. So I hope that's this question. Moving on to question 5 now, everybody. Question 5. Okay, so question 5. This is a bit of an interesting question because there was video clips attached to this email that I will talk about in this question. So the question is it me, or did John Frusciante's guitar tone change for the Wet Sand solo from 2006 to 2007? 2006 sounds normal. 2007 sounds like it has chorus on it. Do you think it's the CE1 vein, the CE1 cropping up again? Or is it something else? Okay, so yeah. I listened to the 2 clips you sent me. One from 2006, one from 2007. Yes, the 2006 one is just a combination of... It sounds like a combination of John's... the fuzz pedal he used at that time. I forget the name of it. Again, not particularly important. It sounds like a combination of that fuzz pedal, a DS2, and the Ibanez Wah. That's what it sounds like. You know, it's that kind of a... You know, basically all John's doing there is just sticking on these distortion pedals and just sticking the Ibanez Wah on and leaving it on full tilt. So it's on in full treble position basically, and that just gives it that kind of real shrill, cutting sound. So that's 2006 version, and yes, 2007 version, he does have chorus on it, so it does sound like... Instead of... It is. So hopefully you can kind of hear the difference. Yeah, it's definitely the CE1. John really didn't have another chorus pedal on his board, really, that he would use. So, yeah, it's definitely the CE1. Again, but any chorus pedal, like I said, that's a zoom, and it sounds pretty close to me. You know, any chorus pedal will do the job. But yeah, it's not a massive change. John's tone didn't change a great deal. What changed in John's tone more than anything was the gain structure of his clean tone. Because in the Californication era, it's a lot more... His clean tone, his basic kind of tone... It's not really clean, but his kind of cleanish tone is a lot cleaner. And then during the By the Way era... during the Californication tone, it's a lot more distorted. And then during the By the Way era, it cleaned up a smidge. Not a great deal, but a little bit cleaner. And then in the Stadium Arcadium kind of era, it's a little bit brighter. You know, the Californication era is darker and more distorted. The By the Way era is dark, but cleaner, if you will. And then the Stadium Arcadium is brighter and cleaner, but kind of the same clean as By the Way, so to say. They're not too dissimilar. But that's the only thing that really changed in John's tone, really. Other than that, everything kind of stays as it is. Even if you go back in time and you watch kind of like Mother's Milk era, John Frusciante, when he kicks on his DS2, it sounds like his DS2 in 2006, 2007. You know what I mean? It still has that kind of sound. You know, it's still got that kind of sound. So, his DS2 tone never really changed much. It did a bit, but not a great deal. It still sounds very similar to how it sounded later on in life. It was more to do with how he had his amps set up. The DS2 was shriller during the Mother's Milk era because John had a more distorted clean tone and a brighter clean tone, which I will get to a video on that at some point in the new year. I don't think I'll get to it before the end of this year, but I will definitely do it the beginning of next year. John Frusciante's tone during Mother's Milk was a lot brighter and a lot more distorted than it is later on in life during Californication, by the way, Stadium Arcadium. So, and because of that, the DS2 reacted in a different way. It reacted brighter, but not really. It's still got that fat darkness to it. Anyway, but yeah, John's tone did change, but all that's different is he puts chorus on the solo instead of leaving it off, basically. So yeah, the 2006 version doesn't have chorus, the 2007 does. But basically, the Wet Sand solo, there's not many times I saw John Frusciante doing the Wet Sand solo where he didn't have his Ibanez Wah on, just to make it really cut through. You know, really shrill, you know, cutting tones, I'd say. So yeah, yeah, I think that's it. I think I've waffled on about that. But yeah, it's definitely C1 chorus, but any chorus pedal will do that. Okay, so you also asked, what do you think about using chorus with distortion? I really like it. I love the sound of chorus with distortion. It's really nice, I think. I reckon it adds a different dimension to things. You know, it's quite cool, especially with kind of big kind of chords. You know, you can kind of hear it sounds like Rush. You know, because I don't know why chorus reminds me of Rush, but especially that chord. And it's also kind of, you know, Police kind of sound. But I really like the way it sounds with distortion. Solos have this kind of warble on top of them instead of just this. You get this kind of warble on top where it goes, what? It really sounds really distressed. And it's really cool to go. You know, stuff like that. It's just wicked. It sounds really kind of boring actually without chorus. You know, so yeah, I love chorus on distortion. I think it's really, really cool. And you also play that riff of chorus. Ah. Anyway, enough of the stupid faces. Do you see all the stupid faces I was putting for no apparent reason? What are you doing that, Dave? I don't know. Anyway, yes, I love chorus on distortion. I think it sounds really, really cool. It also reminds me of this. Which is always cool. Okay, so moving along. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, love it. Love the sound. I'm lost, everybody. I'm lost. One sec. Okay, yeah, and finally you asked, the last part of question 5 is, have you ever been to Japan? No, I haven't, but it's one of those places I must go. I would love to go to Japan. It's one of those places that I've always wanted to go to. And the funny thing is, I'm not really one of those people who really likes travelling a great deal. I'm not really kind of one of those people. I just, with one thing or another in this malfunctioning thing, I find it hard to travel places. But Japan is one of those places I've always wanted to go. Because I'd probably have a meltdown, but it'd be worth it. Because I just want to go there. It's just, you know, one of my heroes, Miyamoto Musashi, who's on my arm. He comes from there. I'd love to go and visit the places he was. You know what I mean? You know, because there's certain places that remain where, you know, I'm fascinated with the samurai. I always have been. I've always I don't know why I'm so drawn to the samurai, but I've always been drawn to the samurai from a very young age. I mean, I'm talking like, I don't know how old. I want to say 4 or 5 years old. I remember seeing a picture of a samurai and just being absolutely kind of just drawn to it. I don't know why. And then like, when I was a bit older, we went to the Leeds Royal Armouries, and there was samurai suits of armor, real samurai suits of armor, like original suits of armor and katanas and stuff like that, and I'm just absolutely fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by their culture, by the culture of the samurai and all that kind of thing. And I'm a big crazed fan of that kind of thing. It's just one of those things that I love. Apart aside from the guitar, kind of thing. And Japan is just one of those places I've always loved the look of, and always wanted to go. I just love it. I haven't even been there. Yeah. So it's one of those places I would like to go at some point in my life, definitely. Along with Seattle, in America, I need to go to Seattle because I need to visit Jimi Hendrix at some point and say thank you. So I have to go to those two places at some point in my life. Full stop, really. So yeah. Whether it'll happen or not, it depends on certain financial issues or brain issues, if you will. But yeah, I would love to go to those two places. They're absolutely really high on my list of places I want to go. So yeah, hopefully one day I would love to come to Japan, but time will tell on that one. So yeah, but yeah, I've just, like I say, I've just been fascinated with the samurai for forever. Way before anything. I remember just being obsessed with it, and it just, well, not even obsessed. It's a fascination. I'm really intrigued by them, and it just, in a really kind of like, I find it a very healthy way because I like the philosophy that they have. Some of them have, and the stuff like that, and like the whole kind of honor thing and integrity thing that some of them have. Especially Miyamoto Musashi, who's just incredible, incredible human being, absolutely incredible human being. So yeah, some point in my life, I have to go to Japan, and yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, so yeah, hope that's answered question 5. I'm gonna move on to the final question of the day, everybody. Question 6. Peeked out of camera, man, and I don't know why I did that, but hey. I'm doing weird faces today. Sorry, everybody. I should just wear a mask all the time, be like Buckethead, and then no one will have to see my. If it does like this all the time, it might actually be better. I don't know which one's better. This, or this. That, or that, or this. Anyway, is that input or this? Yeah. Anyway, moving along. I don't know what. Tangent boy, everybody. He's here to stay. Moving along, question 6, and I nearly threw my plectrum again. Put it in the scratch plate. There we go. Best place to put a plectrum ever, everybody, when you're playing live, is in your scratch plate. Pick sticks? Bah, humbug. The scratch plate will do the job, but a pick stick can. Anyway, but again, but it's really cool though. He used his J. Key Lee with Ozzy Osbourne, had like 4 plectrums hanging at the bottom of his scratch plate. It looks really cool. Anyway. I'm losing my mind, and I'm going to run out of time if I'm not careful. So, moving on. Question 6! Final question of the day. Get to the question day! Okay, question 6. What model is your drum machine you use? Okay, so, there's 2 questions to question 6, but the first one is, what model drum machine do I use? Well, for my intro jams, I use the inbuilt drum machine in my Zoom G2. So, it's just like, I think it's like 35 preset drum patterns in the Zoom G2.1U. And I use that for my intro jams. For recording, I use the Zoom... something. 1 minute. Just bear with me. back, but I didn't want to leave you without something to listen to. So, hope you enjoyed this. I will be back. Okay, so, segue. We'll call that a segue. Okay, so the actual Zoom drum machine, I like that actually. I might leave that playing for an outro for you all to enjoy. So, just let it loop. The Zoom drum machine I use for recording is this one. It's the Micro Rhythm Track MRT3. And it's got all the pads. And I've had this for absolutely ever. And he's called Keith, everybody. So, Keith, people of the tube, this is Keith. Why? I don't know. But he's called Keith. And I've had him forever. And it's amazing. I love this thing. And I love its sounds because they're quite lo-fi drum sounds. They're not real drums. And I like that. You know what I mean? It sounds like what it sounds like, a drum machine, but I like that, and it's ridiculously versatile. So, highly recommend these if you can find them. It was really cheap, this one, and I absolutely adore it to bits. It's amazing. Some of the pads are a bit iffy now, and it doesn't really work as well as it used to, because I've used it to the max, but I do love it nonetheless, and it's an amazing drum machine. And sometimes I forget I've got it, and because it doesn't get as much use as it used to, sadly, Mr. Keith. But I do love it. I do love this drum machine. And this is one I use if I'm recording. For intro jams, like I say, I use the drum machine inside the Zoom G2. But that's the drum machine I use if I'm recording. And it's awesome. And I like how lo-fi the sounds are and how it's not... You know, it's not trying to be anything other than what it is. And I quite like that. It gives a certain character and that I really like. So most of my demos on my Bandcamp page, where I've got loads of music of my own, are all that drum machine. And they don't sound like real drums, but I don't know, there's something in the character of the sound that I really, really like, and I've grown to love. So yeah, that's the drum machines I use, those two. And you also asked, have you ever tried the Boss the SZ5 fuzz? No, but I really, really want to. I really want to try a Boss fuzz pedal, because, I say mainly because John Frusciante had one, that's the main reason. But yeah, I haven't tried one, but I would love to at some point. They're just it's on the list of pedals that I want to get at some point when I can afford it, or when I find the right one, so to say. So and when I do get one, I'll do a video on it, and I'll do a video on it if I like it. If I don't like it, you'll never hear of it again, and we will not talk of it again. It will be banished into the realms. Anyway, moving along. So yes, that's it, everybody. Good gravy. I had time for one more question. I don't have any questions. But, so yeah, yes, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, everybody. I hope I've answered your questions okay. I hope it's been informative, and there's something you can kind of take away from my ramblings. I have gone off on tangents today and random things, but it wouldn't be a Dave Simpson Q&A without tangent, boy, would it? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. And yeah, I'll see you again for another video on Friday. I have a teaching video coming on Friday, and I still haven't decided. It's getting a bit late in the day, but I still haven't decided which one I'm doing. I've got 2 videos of what I do just before Christmas, teaching videos of what I do before Christmas. One will be in parts, one will be the whole song. I'm not telling you who the artist is, again, because I'm evil. Whoa! Should be living in a volcano, shouldn't I, somewhere? Anyway, I don't think I could hack the heat. Anyway. Yes, videos. Friday's video will be a teaching video from a certain artist, well-known artist, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. It'll either be one or the other. Whichever one I don't get to this week, I will do next week and before Christmas. So yes. Hope you enjoyed this video, everybody, and I will see you again. Have a great morning, afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the wonderful people of the tube. Yeah, I will leave you with the loop that came from somewhere. Again, out there in the ether. That's where that loop came from, and it's just gorgeous, and I want to play over the top of it. So, thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you again. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. I've said that twice, but that's okay. You can never wish enough. You can never wish people enough happy good mornings, afternoons, and good evenings. I trust you'll agree on that one. So, see you again, everybody. Goodbye now. Nearly said it again 3 times.